Hello again, friends. Dr. Chad Arnow from the University of Dayton Winds and Brass channel with another Trombone Basics video. Today's video is all about how to maintain and lubricate the tuning slide on your trombone. If you remember from the terminology video, the tuning slide is the part at the very top of the instrument. This top bow here often has a counterweight with the manufacturer's logo on it that tunes the entire instrument. You set it where it needs to be in tune with other people, and then all the fine adjustments are made with your hand slide. Like the hand slide, the tuning slide has to be able to move, but unlike the hand slide, it needs to stay where you move it to. The hand slide needs to move constantly. The tuning slide needs to be able to be moved and then stay there. So we use a different lubricant for that. You'll find it usually called tuning slide grease, occasionally tuning slide and cork grease, slide and cork grease, but tuning slide grease is what you need. It can come in a bottle, it can come in a tube, it can come in a little can like this. Just so you know, a little can like this will last you years because you don't use that much of it, and you may not do that as often as you lubricate your hand slide or other things like that. So a little can of tuning slide grease can last you for years. In all honesty, I sometimes lose these before I actually finish using them because you don't use all of that much. So in terms of supplies that you need for your tuning slide cleaning and lubrication, it's pretty simple. You want that cloth we talked about that you should be carrying around at all times in your case. This is an old one, and you can see it's been used quite a bit. It's a little bit less pristine than it used to be, and that's because it wipes off things like grease, which are not clean. That's why we're wiping it off. Also, a bit of cheesecloth. We'll show how to use that. A small cleaning rod can be very helpful. Now, this is a smaller version of what is in most trombone cases to be used with your hand slide. And you could use the hand slide cleaning rod and just choke up on it because you only need a little bit. So here's the procedure for really properly maintaining your tuning slide. The first thing you want to do whenever you lubricate a tuning slide is you want to wipe off the existing grease that's there. There's a reason why your tuning slide isn't working as well as it used to, and the grease has either broken down or gotten dirty or worn away or whatever. So you want to wipe off the remnants of that first. So you want to disassemble your tuning slide. You simply hold the bell section and pull the tuning slide out until it comes free. And then we'll set the bell section out of the way for a moment. Now, with tuning slides, many of them have an inner leg on both sides and outer legs on the bell section. This particular brand has one inner slide leg and one outer slide leg. You want to wipe off the tuning slide grease from the outer slide legs using that cloth that you keep in your case. Pretty simple procedure. You're just wiping off the grease that's there. And in this case, I'm going to do the same thing for the outer slide leg that is on the bell section. And this is an important concept. If we're simply layering new grease on top of old grease, it's not going to work as well. There's only a certain amount of room between the parts, and if we keep filling it with more and more grease, especially dirty grease, it's just simply not going to work that well. So we want to wipe off the tuning slide grease that we can easily get to. Then we still have the tuning slide grease that's on the inside of the outer legs. So we want to wipe that off as well. And for that, we'll use the cleaning rod and the cheesecloth. And this is a similar procedure you'll use for swabbing out your slide, which is seen in a different video. You simply take the cheesecloth, put it through this large, looks like a needle eye, wrap the cloth around the metal head so that no metal is exposed, and keep wrapping the cloth to get the approximate diameter you need for the inside of your tuning slide. And then you simply wrap more cloth around it until all the metal is covered. And then from there, you simply take the cleaning rod with the cheesecloth around it, insert it into the outer leg, and just swab to remove any old tuning slide grease. So that'll be done on this side, on one set of outer legs. And we need to do that on the bell section on mine because we have an outer leg there. With all trombones, the tubing expands as you go across that top bow. And so the diameter of cloth you'll need to fill the other side and properly clean it is bigger. So you simply reverse the process a little bit, wrap more cloth around the end until you have the diameter that you need, and then swab out the other outer slide leg, which in this case is attached to the bell section. You're now ready to re-grease the tuning slide. As I mentioned, this can will last a long time because you don't use that much of it at a time. If you use too much, the instrument will simply squish out the excess and make kind of a mess. So I would start with a little bit, and if the slide's not working the way you want, then put a little more on and try again. So I'm going to take my finger into the tuning slide grease and just get it a little bit wet with the tuning slide grease, and I'm going to apply it right around the bottom of this inner slide leg. Why not around the entire thing? Because as we put it into the instrument, the first part that touches the instrument will be this part. And as we work the tuning slide around, it will cover the rest. So we take this tuning slide leg, we reinsert it into the bell section, and we work it around, twisting it back and forth as it goes in and out. So we're distributing the slide grease all along the inner and outer slide legs. We then do the same procedure on the other side. Just a little bit, and around the very end, not around the entire thing. And then again, we reinsert the legs and we work it back and forth until it's spread evenly. If you've used too much, the instrument will squish it out the top, and you can simply wipe it off and apply it to the other slide leg if you need to. And then we just carefully put the tuning slide back in. There's usually one end that's slightly longer than the other, and you want to get that end lined up first. And you push the tuning slide back in. Now, the tuning slide easily moves with one hand to where it needs to go and stays there, just like it's supposed to. It's silent, but moves easily and stays as it needs to. Another question is, how often should you do this? Well, that really depends on your instrument, your body chemistry, whether you play indoors or outdoors. I would say at a bare minimum, quarterly, 4 times a year. Wipe off what's there, put new stuff on. If you find that the tuning slide is not working well in between that, then you need to do it more often. If you're using your instrument outdoors where there's dirt and grime and dust blowing around, you need to do it even more often than that. But this simple, quick procedure will keep your tuning slide working the way it needs to, so you can make fine adjustments as you play, keeping in tune with the people around you. As always, if you want to know more information about the University of Dayton's Department of Music, you can find that link below. It's also go.udayton.edu/music. If you want more information about me, or to hear me play, or see other videos in this series, you can go to my website, chadarnow.com. As always, like, subscribe, bell notification on the channel to get this videos and others showing up in your feed, because there are lots of other great videos in this series geared for younger and developing trombone players. Till next time, thank you.